Now, as we have seen that the cathode rays are produced by the atoms of all the elements. That means any metal is taken in the discharge tube, then it will produce negatively charged particles or negatively charged rays will be produced. Now, we also know that atoms are electrically neutral. That means they do not show any charge, no negative charge, no positive charge. So, if the something is there which is negatively charged in an atom, then to make it neutral there has to be some oppositely charged particles also present in the atom, and that led to the discovery of the positively charged particles which are known as the protons. Now we know the name as protons. So at that time it was only an assumption that because all the gases or all the metals were producing electrons or the negatively charged particles, and atoms of any element is electrically neutral, so there has to be something which will cancel the negative charge of electron which should be present in the atoms of all the elements. So again the experiment was done in the discharge tube by putting a gas at a very low pressure and using different cathodes and anode material. That means different metals were used and different gases were filled inside the discharge tube. And what was observed that when the high electric voltage was applied in the discharge tube, then the rays started from cathode, they moved towards the anode, and some of the rays moved from anode towards the cathode as well. That means the particles were produced from the cathode as well as from the anode. Now, if the particles are moving towards the cathode, that means they are getting attracted to the negatively charged electrode. That means they should carry a positive charge. So, the rays were produced or the particles were produced which were positively charged. Now, if a zinc sulfide screen is placed behind the cathode, then it was seen that the glow was produced there. That means some particles were emitted from the anode and they were moving towards the cathode. Then one more thing was seen, and it was the experiment was performed by Goldstein. He used a perforated cathode. Perforated means the metal plate which was used as cathode was made and had some holes in it. Some pores were there, some holes through which the protons were able to pass. So when the high electric voltage was applied between the electrodes, the particles started moving from the anode and they crossed the cathode, and if there was a zinc sulfide screen which was placed behind, if it is placed here, zinc sulfide screen is a phosphorescent substance. When energy particles which could move from this side, from anode, they were moving towards the cathode, and because there were holes in the cathode, say they could pass through the holes and they struck on the zinc sulfide screen which was placed behind the cathode. So here when they struck, then they produced glow. Glow was produced here, which showed that some positively charged particles were produced from the anode and they moved towards the cathode. Same way, from here, from cathode, the cathode rays were produced because the high electric voltage was applied. So some of the rays were traveling from cathode to the anode, then the rays were traveling from anode towards the cathode. Now, on the basis of this, it was discovered that some positively charged particles also are present in the atom. Now, what are the properties of the anode rays? The anode rays were also called as canal rays. Now, why they were called as canal rays? Because they were moving from the anode towards the cathode and they crossed the holes which are present in the cathode, as it was made a perforated cathode. Now we will study about the properties of the anode rays. Now anode rays also travel in straight line as the cathode rays travel in straight line. Then they consist of minute material particles. They have mass. They are heavy particles, and because they are heavy particles, so they showed all the mechanical properties of the material particles. For example, they were able to move if a very light fan was kept in the way of those anode rays, it started moving when the anode rays were produced. They showed what? some mass was there in the particles, which when struck on the very thin, very light fan blades of the fan, it started moving. So the mechanical properties were shown by these particles. Then they are positively charged and they get affected by the electrical and magnetic field in the direction opposite to that of cathode rays. That means if the electric field is applied, then the anode rays turn towards the negatively charged plate. Then they also produced glow on zinc sulfide screen, as I have told you that when the energy particles strike the zinc sulfide screen, they will produce glow. Their charge to mass ratio differ from gas to gas. Now this will differ from gas to gas because the protons are, now we know that the protons are present inside the nucleus, and as a whole the nucleus will be removed from the atom, and the nucleus will be traveling, so their charge to mass ratio will differ from gas to gas. Then according to these all properties of anode rays, we can study the properties of protons. We can predict the properties of protons. If an individual proton is taken, then it is having a unit positive charge. Then their mass is equal to the mass of a hydrogen atom. We know that a hydrogen atom consists of a single proton. So the mass of proton is always equal to the mass of hydrogen atom. And it is a heavy particle, as I told you. So its mass is 1837 times than the mass of an electron. That means it is a heavy particle, as heavy as 1837 electrons. So these are the properties of protons, and this is the experiment which led to the discovery of protons. The discovery was done by Goldstein.